Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. You know that feeling when you see someone who looks exactly like someone else? Well, multiply that by 1,000,000. The new Michael Jackson biopic trailer just dropped, and people can't stop talking about how his nephew literally becomes him on screen. Today, we're diving into this groundbreaking film, the controversy behind it, and why it might change how we make biopics forever.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is that this isn't just another celebrity biopic. The numbers are already staggering. The trailer hit 116.2 million views in just 24 hours.
Wait, that's more than Taylor Swift's concert film trailer, right?
Exactly. It beat Taylor Swift's 96.1 million views and became the most watched music biopic trailer in history.
Let's talk about Jafar Jackson. I mean, casting Michael's own nephew as him, that's pretty unprecedented, isn't it?
It really is. And you know what's interesting? They actually did a worldwide casting search for 2 years before landing on Jafar.
2 years? That's quite a search.
Well, Graham King, the producer, said when he met Jafar, he was just blown away by how he naturally embodied Michael's spirit and personality.
And this is Jafar's first major acting role, right?
Yeah, though he's been in the entertainment world before. He released his own music in 2019 and even appeared in a short-lived reality series called The Jacksons: Next Generation.
Speaking of generations, let's talk about the rest of this cast because it's pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson, Nia Long as Katherine Jackson, and even Miles Teller as John Branca, Michael's attorney.
But this film hasn't exactly had a smooth journey to the screen, has it?
No, it's faced quite a few challenges. The film was originally supposed to release in early 2025, but they had to push it back to April 2026.
And there's been some controversy about what the film will and won't show, right?
Yeah, that's actually a really complex situation. The original cut was over 3.5 hours long, and they had to do significant reshoots.
3.5 hours? That's substantial.
And there's actually talk about splitting it into 2 films now.
Really? What's driving that decision?
Well, according to reports, they had to remove entire storylines due to legal restrictions from previous settlements involving Michael Jackson.
That must be challenging from a storytelling perspective.
Definitely. The producer, Graham King, has said they're trying to humanize without sanitizing, which is a really delicate balance.
And speaking of balance, not everyone in the Jackson family is on board with this, are they?
No, particularly Paris Jackson, Michael's daughter. She's publicly distanced herself from the project.
What were her concerns?
She said she read an early draft and gave feedback, but felt her concerns were ignored. She called it sugar-coated and said it panders to a specific section of her dad's fandom.
That's pretty strong criticism from someone who would know.
Yeah, she specifically said, the narrative is being controlled, there's a lot of inaccuracy, and there's a lot of just full-blown lies.
But Katherine Jackson, Michael's mother, has a different view, right?
Exactly. She said Jafar embodies her son and that it's wonderful to see him carry on the Jackson legacy.
Let's talk about the actual content we've seen so far. What stands out in the trailer?
Well, it opens with this really powerful scene of Jafar in the studio with Quincy Jones and then shows glimpses of iconic moments like the Thriller video and the moonwalk.
And the attention to detail seems pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, fans have been doing side-by-side comparisons of the recreations with the original performances, and the accuracy is remarkable.
What about the behind-the-scenes stuff? Are they showing much of that?
The film promises to show both his life on and off stage, particularly focusing on his early solo career and his journey from the Jackson 5.
You know what's interesting? This feels different from other recent music biopics.
How so?
Well, take Bohemian Rhapsody, for example. Same producer, Graham King, but this feels more personal somehow.
That's probably because it literally is more personal. Having Jafar play Michael adds this whole other layer of family connection.
Did Jafar have much personal connection with Michael?
He did, actually. He talks about spending time at Neverland Ranch, playing hide and seek, going on rides, watching movies with Michael.
That must add such an interesting dimension to his performance.
Yeah, and he said he wishes he could have asked Michael questions about the career he's chosen for himself.
Let's talk about the director, Antoine Fuqua. This seems like a departure from his usual work.
Definitely. He's known more for action films like Training Day and The Equalizer, but he said he felt a spiritual connection when he first met Jafar.
And what about the music? How much are we going to hear?
Reports say there will be over 30 songs featured in the film.
Wow, that's a lot of music to cover.
And remember, Michael had 13 #1 hits just as a solo artist. That's not even counting the Jackson 5 era.
Speaking of eras, how much of his life does the film cover?
The official synopsis says it follows him from his Jackson 5 days through his rise to becoming the biggest entertainer in the world.
That's quite a journey to capture.
And that's probably why they're considering splitting it into 2 films. There's just so much ground to cover.
Do we know how they're handling the more controversial aspects of his life?
The producer has said they want to present the most compelling, unbiased story they can in a single feature film and let audiences decide how they feel.
But there are those legal restrictions we mentioned earlier.
Right, some stories legally can't be depicted due to previous settlements, which has forced them to restructure parts of the film.
It really shows how complex it is to tell someone's life story, doesn't it?
Especially someone as complicated and controversial as Michael Jackson.
What do you think this film's legacy will be?
Well, based on the trailer's reception, it could set a new standard for music biopics. The numbers we're seeing are unprecedented.
And having a family member play the lead role, that's pretty groundbreaking.
It really is. It adds this layer of authenticity you just can't get any other way.
Well, I guess we'll find out when it hits theaters next April.
April 24th, 2026 to be exact. Mark your calendars.
And maybe mark them twice if they end up splitting it into 2 films.
You know what they say, don't stop till you get enough.
And on that perfect note, we'll wrap up today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Thanks for joining us for this fascinating look at what might be the most anticipated biopic in recent history.